What the hell is going on at Manchester United? What is happening to this football club in season 2? Is Mourinho history repeating itself again after 5 games in this league season already? Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope we're all having a fantastic Saturday evening. Hope we're all having a great weekend as well. And hope we're all looking forward to another brand new week in September 2023. First of all, do me a massive favour, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to put the notification bell on all times to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube for more Fortnite, Chapter 4, Season 4, Last Resort, Rocket League Season 12, FIFA 23, EA Sports FC 24, more previews, more reactions right throughout the rest in the last few months of September 2023. And welcome to the reaction, the Premier League reaction between Manchester United and Brighton and Hove Albion at Old Trafford on this Saturday evening, match day 5 of the 2023-2024 Premier League season. All I can say is, what the hell is going on at Manchester United? Losing 3-1 to Brighton at home. Brighton outclassed us, outfought us, outwon us, outplayed us. Brighton have come to Old Trafford and absolutely demolished Manchester United in front of the Old Trafford crowd, the fans and supporters, and especially in front of Erik ten Hag, where when everything went wrong, it simply went wrong. From minute go, soon as kickoff started, United just didn't seem up for it today. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it is an absolute mess. 6 points from 15 after 5 games of this Premier League season. Way off Man City, way off Liverpool, potentially going to be way off Arsenal and Liverpool, potentially Newcastle, Brentford, Fulham, Palace, Villa. When you thought the situation couldn't get any worse, it is just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. That Man United team did not turn up today. They didn't show up, didn't play, didn't perform. They were simply outclassed in all that 90 minutes from kickoff. I don't know what the players' attitude is, the commitment, their mentality, but those players clearly are doing what they did to Mourinho, where second season syndrome hits. Third season in, Mourinho was sacked, and is history going to repeat itself? By that performance today, history is going to repeat itself. That today was simply a disgrace. It was shambolic. It was disgusting. It was pathetic. And quite frankly, shit in every aspect of that Man United team today, that no one put any performance in. No one turned up to play. And United basically gave up. As soon as the first goal went in, United's heads dropped. The confidence was gone. The positivity was gone. Manchester United, in the end, were absolutely well-deservedly beaten today by a Brighton team under Roberto De Zerbi that are absolutely cooking in this Premier League season. And Manchester United are left nowhere to be seen. And what a start it's been for us. This Premier League season is not the start I expected. It's not the start I thought Manchester United would make. It is just an absolute shit show. There is no morale in that team. There's no boost. There's no confidence. There's no positivity. Have the players turned on the manager? By that today, I think the players have turned on him. I really do expect that these players now, after 5 games, questions and answers now need to be made by Manchester United, by those players. And I think Erik ten Hag now is under huge pressure to keep his job. I really am expecting an announcement that if results get worse than this in the next 3 or 4 games, when we've got Burnley, Brentford, Villa and Palace, if Man United fail to deliver 3 points from any of those 3 games, or 4 or 5 games, then questions need to be made about what behind the scenes is happening to this club, because on the pitch, we seem to be lacking ideas. There's a lack of confidence. There's a lack of positivity. That Man United team are running out of energy. There's no enthusiasm to fight. There's no get up and go. There's no oomph power in the performance. And I think Man United are running out of ideas how to play. I don't know if it's down to the tactics. I don't know if it's down to the players. It's the situations of Jadon, Sancho and Antony massively having a massive knock-on effect for the players that maybe think Sancho deserves to play, or some players think he doesn't deserve to play. It's the Antony situation and the history of that, repeating it what it did to Mason Greenwood. I just don't think Man United have got a bloody clue what they're doing. And it sums up the performance again today. 6 goals conceded in your last 2 games, away to Arsenal and now at home to Brighton. Man United are facing an uphill task here after 5 games. I honestly expected a response. I expected Manchester United to turn up today, play Brighton and put in a good performance, and none the wiser that Brighton absolutely overturned us. They fought for every ball. They fought for every tackle. And the players they got in that Brighton team, I mean, João Pedro, Ansu Fati, Mitoma, that Brighton team is just absolutely cooking on all fronts this season. And Man United now are in big crisis. We are in a crisis that no one expected. I didn't expect. I think United are in big, big trouble. I don't know what the answers are. I don't know who to point the finger at, but clearly something is going on with those players. Something's going on with the squad, and something's going on with the coaching or the tactics that clearly I don't think the players are listening. I think the players are doing what they did to ever previous managers. And the history now is that United currently lie 12th in the Premier League. We've got a goal difference of -4. And after 5 games, we've lost 3 and we've only won 2. And results haven't gone our way. And we're now only 5 points above Everton. And Everton have got a game in hand. Bournemouth have got a game in hand. Luton have got a game in hand. Burnley have got 2 games in hand. It is an absolute shit show. We are already 9 points off Man City, 7 off Liverpool, 6 off Brighton, 4 off Tottenham, Arsenal and West Ham United. We are 2 off Palace, 1 off Villa and Fulham. And it's not looking very good. It is looking horrific. And already we are facing an uphill task to try and turn the season around. It's not looking very good. It's looking horrific. It's looking embarrassing. It's looking, quite frankly, from the fans and supporter side, it's looking, quite frankly, where do we turn? Where do we find the positivity? I absolutely don't know how Man United are going to be able to turn this around, but we have got to start picking up points. We've got to start picking up wins, because at the moment, I look at United's next 2 games. You've got Bayern Munich, Burnley, Palace in the Cup, Palace at home in the league. And you're trying to find where the positivity is going to come in the next few games. And at the moment, there seems to be none. The positivity, the enthusiasm, I think this season's already over. People will say it's only 5 games, give it time, and United could still turn this around. But the way Manchester United are playing, I just don't trust anyone. The only one I trust is Erik ten Hag. The only one I'm trusting now is the manager. Has the manager got it wrong today? Well, the lineup hasn't helped. The options off the bench hasn't helped either. And the situation with Jadon, Sancho and Antony has affected morale a week. We've had nothing but Sancho and Antony debacle all week long. And unfortunately, that news has gone and featured into the first team. It's leaked into the dressing room. And the players are trying to build a winning mentality. But when you've got players like Sancho throwing his toys out the pram, being banished from first team training, and then the allegations of Antony that he's under investigation under, and obviously he's on an absence of leave until further notice. And then you look at the bench, Pellistri, Garnacho, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, Bandia. I mean, where Harry Maguire? I mean, you look at that first team and you look at the number of players that are surplus to requirements, shouldn't even be in this team. You look at the first team, how the hell Scott McTominay has started that game today after Scotland were demolished 3-1 by England in the 2-week international break, which was pointless. How Scott McTominay is getting in this Man United team has to be questioned. He's not good enough. He's never going to be good enough. He's a Duracell bunny that runs around and does little pivot turns to try and win and keep hold of the ball, loses the ball too much, keeps losing possession, gives the ball away way too often. And we're playing 4 midfielders in a game that we could have done with a right winger on the right wing, and we don't have any. We simply do not have any chemistry, any rating. We do not have any positivity on that right wing. I don't know what the answers are to turn all this around, but these players, it needs calling out. This is not the season we all expected for Manchester United to have. I expected 15 points from 15, and we've got 6. So we're already 9 points worse off than what we were at the start last season. And with a goal difference already at -4, losing 3-1 to Brighton is now going to heap the pressure on Erik ten Hag. There's only so much he can do to turn this around. And clearly, for me, the only 3 bright sparks out of this game today, if I'm going to be really brutally honest, is Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Højlund, and Sergio Reguilón. For me, in my opinion, those are the only 3 players that can take any source of confidence and positivity out of their performance today. Because I thought, for me, in my opinion, Marcus Rashford in that first half was causing Brighton hell. It was causing them problems every time Marcus Rashford got on the ball in the left wing position. And the Brighton back four simply could not cope with Marcus Rashford's mentality on the attack every time he got hold of the ball. But then the way he takes the ball and cuts inside too much and switches onto his left foot, where he should be keeping the ball on his right foot, which is his strongest foot. That's what really frustrates me about Marcus Rashford. And he did that today in several key moments when he was through on goal. And he could have had a hat-trick in that first half. Probably Marcus Rashford was probably our best player by a mile in that first half, if we're all being honest. But then in the second half, it just completely and utterly dried up in his performance. I thought he stepped off a bit. He didn't really make the runs he was doing in the first half. Didn't really keep hold of the ball. But then all of a sudden kept ball hogging it with the ball, taking it on all by himself, trying to be a world beater. And he was just showing pure frustration because he kept cutting inside onto his left foot when he threw on goal again. And that happened several times in the second half. And then I think you've then got to move on to Rasmus Højlund. I think, yet again, there is a world-class striker in there in the making. And I disagree that his goal should not have been ruled out. I've looked at that VAR decision. That ball is not out of play. That ball is still in play because some of the ball is still on the white line on the Brighton penalty area. The ball is still in play. And VAR has ruled out yet again 2 weeks in a row, 2 perfectly good United goals that should have both been stood. Rasmus Højlund puts the ball in the back of net thinking he's got his first goal for the club, and then the goal gets ruled out unfairly by VAR. I think, I think he's United's best player by a mile at the moment, Rasmus Højlund. I think he's done more in a United shirt than what some of those players have done in their United career. I think, in my opinion, if the first goal he scored for the club would have stood and VAR wouldn't have ruled it out, I think his confidence is up there because his body strength, his mentality, the way he takes on players and the way he can cut open the Brighton midfield with his left foot, it shows that we have got a world-class striker there, Rasmus Højlund. I think he's got the ability, I think he's got the skill, and I think he's got the charisma to put the ball in the back of the net on the next few occasions in a Manchester United shirt. But the rest of them today just didn't offer him any service, any direction. There was simply nothing to be pleased about the performance of that whole team today. But like I said, I think Rasmus Højlund is going to come very, very good. I think he will score a hefty load of goals for United in the next few games, and he's got to, because I think, the first goal, like I said, it shouldn't have been ruled out. VAR have got another clear decision wrong yet again today. It's massively unfair that big decisions aren't given to the bigger clubs. No disrespect to every other club in the Premier League, but you've got to look at this now, and United are not being given decisions. It's massively unfair. It's massively disrespectful, and the ball is in play. The ball is actually still in play. Half the ball is on the outside, but half the ball is still on the white line, and the goal gets ruled out by VAR. And Rasmus Højlund does well. The body strength and the way he's allowed to turn, and he puts the ball into the net. thinking the goals there and the equalisers come and the confidence and the boost and the mentality goes up because United have got themselves back into the game after going 1-0 down in 20 minutes. But then the goal gets ruled out, the heads drop, the confidence drops, and it all goes tits up. The way Man United let Brighton come to Old Trafford and out-attack them was quite frightening because Roberto De Zerbi, I think, is going to be a world-class manager. And what he's doing to that Brighton team with the players he's got, I mean, he's lost McAllister, Caicedo, but he's got João Pedro, he's still got Mitoma, he's got James Milner, he's got Evan Ferguson. I mean, that Brighton team were causing Man United problems on several occasions, not just in the first half, but in the second half as well. Brighton were absolutely ripping us apart, and it was quite frightening to see that our midfield is all over the place, the attack is nowhere to be seen, and the back four ain't good enough. I'm sorry, but the only one at that back four, you can grant any credit, is Sergio Reguilon. I mean, people did not rate this signing when we got him from Tottenham. I did, in my opinion, I did want Cucurella, and I did state that I wanted Cucurella. But what I've seen from Reguilon today is a lot more than what I've seen from Luke Shaw and Malacia ever since they started their careers at this club. He gets the ball forward. He can make it on the outside of the wings for Marcus Rashford to slip him in. He can run with the ball. He can put a decent cross into the box. I think Reguilon at left-back is offering a lot more than some of those Man United players do in their career. And it's quite frightening, to be fair, that we have missed an absolute trick with this. I think Reguilon, after one game, I have been left very, very impressed. I think Reguilon, you're right, Alfie, mate. Hope you're good, buddy. Massive shout out to Alfie in the chat, by the way. Legendary Fortnite player as well. Very, very good skills, especially with his building as well on the game. So, yeah, I think Sergio Reguilon is a player that Man United really should have went for over Alex Telles, because I think Reguilon, after one game, I'm being very, very impressed. I think, he can bomb down the wing. He can put a ball into the box. He can create chances. He can take on the Brighton back four. And I think that's something that Luke Shaw and Malacia, in my opinion, simply do not offer. And it's quite frightening to see that, Reguilon has done more than what Man United players have done in their careers. And it's frightening because you would have thought that Luke Shaw and Malacia would have been able to adapt their game and do what Reguilon can do. But Reguilon can do a lot more than what Luke Shaw and Malacia can do. And I think in the first and second half, especially, I thought Reguilon was probably one of United's best players. He was putting the ball into the box. He was fighting for every ball and every tackle. And he's actually winning chances off and on the ball. And that's quite a good aspect from United left-back that most of us didn't want in the summer. I didn't really want him, but we've got him, and you've got to back him. And I think he did very, very well today. And I was quite surprised, in my opinion, that Reguilon did as well as he did. But it's just the rest of them. I think the whole team today, it just looked lost of identity. It looked lack of charisma, a lack of character. It's like we gave Brighton too much respect. We thought we were going to get the win today with the quality we had on the pitch. And the quality isn't there. That United team has got hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds spent on it. And look what Brighton have done. Their recruitment, the players they got, is on a completely different level to what Man United have got ever. And it's quite frightening to see that what Brighton did to United today, they just went for it, didn't fear the fear factor, and came to Old Trafford and outplayed us off the park. And I thought we would win the game today. Like I said, after the Arsenal result, I thought Brighton, we could have beat them. They didn't do very well at home to West Ham, where West Ham ripped them apart. But the whole game as a whole, I was very impressed with what Roberto De Zerbi was doing to that team. And I think he's building a very, very good team for the future. And in my opinion, I think if Brighton keep going the way they're going, they are going to cause several teams a lot of problems this season. And I think if Brighton keep doing what they're doing, and what they did today was basically outclass Manchester United on every forefront, they will do very, very well. All right, okay. They will do very, very well to get European football again. And I think the way they played today, it showed that they are up for the task. They are up for European football, and they are up to be able to back De Zerbi and given the players and the signings he wants. And it looks like a completely Brighton team now. I thought Brighton would have got a lot weaker without McAllister. I thought they would have got a lot weaker without Caicedo, and it looks like the same Brighton team from last season is still there in that starting 11. And it amazes me that United, it's like they got too cocky for their own mentalities and their own charisma, that they thought, we need to get a response. We need to win this game. We need the 3 points. And, I thought United let Brighton come and we paid them way too much respect. And it summed up the result that Brighton are a team on the up and Man United are a team in crisis. I think if it couldn't have got any worse today, it is summed up the result. Losing 3-1 at home is very, very embarrassing. The Old Trafford curse is now over. Old Trafford is no longer a fortress, which is worrying. That's the home record, unbeaten record at home, gone as well. So United, it's in a bad, bad week. And it is summed up the whole week as today is this team just looks out of ideas, out of everything. And it's very, very worrying. I thought Man United would have been up for this today. I thought United would have gone for it. And I thought United would have scored a few good goals. I think there was a lot of positivity around the fan base and supporters that United were going to turn up today. They were going to show some fight. They were going to show some consistency and will start performing. And unfortunately, everything just backfired. I mean, the midfield was very, very poor again today. Like I said about Scott McTominay, how he gets in that midfield is delusional. McTominay is an awful, awful footballer. He isn't very good. And it summed up again today. He should not be starting games for Man United. And that was quite a surprise when I saw the team sheet that McTominay was going to start today. And I was quite surprised by that decision by Ten Hag. I don't know if that's a Ten Hag decision. I don't know if that's a board decision or if the owners getting decisions for certain players to be starting games, or why he was selected. Is it based on the options we've got? Is it based on the favouritism that is in that United team still? Or is it that we're trying to keep him fit for a move in January and United are going to sell him and buy a replacement? Or has McTominay only come in due to the absence of Sancho and Antony? If that's either way the decisions that have been made, that has to be looked into, because McTominay should not be starting games for Manchester United. He's never going to be good enough to play for this club, and it showed up today that he was absolutely awful in both halves of that game. And as soon as he came off, it was a breath of fresh air. It was, thank God we've got him off the pitch, because he was that bad today that I thought this guy he should have been moved on in the summer transfer window. And I think once January comes, they've got to move him on again. They've got to try and get him out the club. It's the same for Harry Maguire. It's the same for Johnny Evans. You look to that bench and you've got Martial, Garnacho, Palestri, Maguire, Johnny Evans, Bandia, Hannibal. There's not a lot of options left. And that's the big, big worry. There was even rumours Donny van de Beek was going to be in the squad today, and Donny van de Beek is nowhere to be seen. I think that is because Manchester United are still trying to get Donny van de Beek a move, and they still want to get him out of the club. And it is very, very worrying that decisions behind the scenes are now affecting Manchester United on the pitch. And that's bad news. That's very, very bad news, because the options aren't there for Man United off the bench. The options aren't there in the first team, and the injury crisis we've got with 8 first-teamers out in Raphael, Varane, Ahmad. We've also got Mason Mount. Sofyan Amrabat is out injured as well, which is a blow. We've got no Tom Heaton. We've got no... Who else haven't we got? Let's have a look who else we got available. So we haven't got Raphael Varane available, Luke Shaw, Malacia, Tom Heaton, Mason Mount, Kobbie Mainoo, Ahmad, Amrabat. And then you've then got to add Sancho and Antony into that equation as well. So at the moment, United are basically relying on 10 players out and the rest of them not good enough to be even on the bench. And that's a worry. That is a major, major worry. And people, thought that transfer window in the summer was an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I would love to see where those people are now, hiding behind their keyboards, calling it a great, great transfer window, and the Glazers and the board actually back Ten Hag, where based on paper and based on facts today that manager wasn't backed. And now the team is suffering, and we've got to try and get till Christmas, and we've got to pick points up. Where are the points going to come from? At the moment, I don't have the answers. I do not know where Manchester United go from here, but United have got to somehow get some wins from somewhere and show a performance, because the fans are fed up, the supporters are fed up, I'm fed up, and the whole team's morale is on the floor. Those players are a laughingstock yet again. Those players are awful. They are shambolic. They are an embarrassment. We have turned into a laughingstock yet again. 6 points from 15. If someone would have told me at the start of this Premier League season, yeah, I know. If we would have picked up 6 points from 15 at the start of the season, someone told me that was going to happen, I would not have believed you. But now, let's face fact. We have picked 6 points out of 15. That is unacceptable from a starting point. I'm not blaming Ten Hag for this. I'm not blaming the manager, and I'm not blaming the coaches. I blame this on the board, I blame this on the owners, and I blame this on the players. People have told me, oh, Erik Ten Hag has got no right calling Jadon Sancho out like that. He's got no right criticising him in the press. He's got no right calling him out in a press conference. I'm sorry. If Jadon Sancho, who's acting like a right baby right now, and is throwing his toys out his little pram because he thinks he's God's gift and he thinks he's the best player at the club and he thinks he's the big I am like Ronaldo turned out to be, I don't want Jadon Sancho anywhere near a Man United shirt again. I don't want to see him ever play for this club again. Jadon Sancho has been an absolute waste of time, waste of energy, and a waste of misfitted talent that everyone thought was going to be great. Even I was in that, and I hold my hands up. But the Jadon Sancho situation now has not helped. We have got theoretically 10 first teamers out because you've got to add Antony and Sancho into that equation of all the injuries. Because Sancho was throwing his toys out the pram. He was watching United's under-18s this morning because Sancho has failed to apologise, doesn't want to apologise, and think he's the big I am. Sancho should be nowhere near this team again. He needs to get out the club or be sold in January, because that is the only direction Jadon Sancho should be heading in his next career move. Well, good luck getting a career move, because at this rate, we are down to scraps. We are literally relying on the scrap metal, the scrapyard players to get us by till Christmas. We are 3 months away from Christmas. We've got Champions League, Carabao Cup and FA Cup. At this rate, I can see Ten Hag either being sacked or resigning, because he's not been backed as the manager and the players are throwing him under the bus. They're clearly not listening and they're clearly not doing what he's telling them to do in training. Is that down to the Antony and the Sancho situations involving everyone and having a 50-50 split between both sides of the dressing room? That has to be pointed out. Or do some players think that, bloody hell, season 2, we can do what we want now? We can underperform. We don't really have to turn up. We don't really have to try. We don't really have to put any effort in. We don't really need to listen to the manager now because we're back in the Champions League. We've got the league. We won the Mickey Mouse Cup. Got FA Cup. I'm going to get by till Christmas, play shit, sack the manager, new manager bounce, PR, interim, new manager in the summer in 2024. That is how I think it's going to go. At the moment, the way I'm thinking, United should not be performing the way they are performing. It's a disgrace. It's embarrassing. It's quite frankly shit. The whole fans and supporters who are so split again due to everything going on behind the scenes at the club, everyone's arguing with each other. But that is because Man United are how they're acting. They're not acting like a football club. They are not a fucking football club. They are a business. They don't care about results on the pitch. They don't care about the future of this club. They don't give a shit about the fans. They don't give a shit about the supporters. They don't give a shit about anyone except about all the profit and the revenue that is being made behind the scenes. And the Glazers are responsible for these performances on the pitch, and so are the Boars. If they would have given Ten Hag the ideal number one target he wanted, we would not be in this situation. If they would have got Harry Kane and Osman, it might have looked different. If they would have got Kim Min-jae, it would have looked different. But Man United said, no, we're not overpaying. And they have lost their bloody mojo. It is embarrassing. United have lost their mojo. It's embarrassing to watch a team that is so down on its knees. This team's embarrassing to watch again. It's quite frightening that how good last season was. You're looking at the start of this season, I would have not thought we'd have had this start. 6 points from 15. It's an absolute shambles. Those players have given up. Those players do not want to perform again. And I don't know why they're doing it. It needs to be called out now. They don't like the crap they get. They don't like the stuff and the criticism they get on social media. And they don't like being called out by the fans and supporters. Well, I'm sorry, lads. It's justified. You deserve the crap you get. You deserve the criticism you get shown. The fans and supporters, we give you criticism because you're playing shit. You can't just expect to be having your hand held for you all the time. You're bloody professional footballers and you should be turning up to fight. And then you've got the whole Harry Maguire situation, which has probably not helped this team this week as well. When Harry Maguire came out and said, I don't deserve the criticism. Why is everybody laughing at me? Why is everyone giving me crap? Why is everyone criticising me? Let me think why everyone's criticising you, Harry. Because you're shit. I'm sorry, you're crap for England. You don't give a shit about Man United. All you are about is the money. And then you're getting your little mummy calling out for you now. Even Harry Maguire's mum saying he doesn't deserve the crap he gets. He doesn't deserve it. It's unfair. He gives his all for his country. He gives his all for Man United. Does he fuck? Does he fuck? I'm sorry. Stop being Harry Maguire's PR machine, mummy, and literally have a good chat to Harry and see what he's got to say, because he's actually like a spoiled little baby. I'm sorry. That hasn't helped this team. So you've got Maguire, you've got Sancho, and you've got Antony. That international break also didn't help. That 2 week of pathetic international football where England bottled it against Ukraine, laughing stock, and then we had to play Scotland where, no disrespect, we all knew England were going to win. And United are like, well, it doesn't matter if we've got injuries. We've still got players here. Don't worry. We've got players to cover the injuries. We've got players in the squad to be able to take on and build mentality. Where's the rebuild? Where's the rebuild in this team where there was meant to be a rebuild this summer? Where's the rebuild? I don't see a rebuild. I see options G, H, and E. I don't see options A. It's like a pack of AA Duracell batteries. You want a batteries for remote control like your Sky remote, right? And you realise the batteries in the Sky remote are the really thin ones, but you've gone and bought the wrong batteries, the really bulky batteries, and the batteries don't fit the remote. It's a shambles. I'm sorry. United are just showing to the world that we're incompetent, and we're incompetent. And the blame will be on Ten Hag for this. But one decision I didn't agree with him today, and I do have to call it out. What was the substitution of Rasmus Højlund all about? Why was Højlund substituted for Antony Martial? Why was that substitution being allowed to be made to happen? Rasmus Højlund should not have been brought off for Antony Martial, who's lazy, who's injury prone, and his attitude stinks of a 5-year-old nursery kid. It is embarrassing that substitution from Ten Hag was allowed to happen. Højlund was causing that Brighton back four problems because of his superior body strength and the way he can turn with the ball. As soon as that happened, the whole attack dried up. We dried up badly today. It was embarrassing. The whole performance in that 90 minutes was shambolic, to say the least. And those players have got some answers to be given right now. Because none of them, not one of them, really, in my opinion, deserves to get away with it. I'm sorry. You should be putting in 110% effort every single game you put on a Man United shirt. And you've gone back into your shell. You've gone back into comfortable FC again, where we don't need to try, we don't really need to push, and we don't need to put a lot of effort in. If you're not going to try and you're not going to put the effort in, why are you still at this club? Because today, it summed it up. United are a club about profit, revenue, and players' egos being driven bigger and bigger and bigger into the abyss. That is the whole attitude of this Man United team at the moment. Lack of ideas, lack of a team cohesion, a lack of leadership. The whole team today just didn't know what to do. There was nothing happening in that whole game. And that was the embarrassing thought that they allowed Brighton to come to Old Trafford and play them. That should not be happening at Old Trafford, where we made this home record great last season, where teams' fear factor at Old Trafford was being brought back. That fear factor's gone again. And it is shocking to see the state we are in again. The whole team today do not deserve any praise, any hype, or any emotions. They deserve crap. They deserve shit on socials. And they need calling out on Twitter, because it is embarrassing to see these so-called professional footballers down-tooling and giving up again, waving the white flag. Might as well get the Diallo song on, because that sums up these players. They don't want to try for you. They don't give a shit how they perform. As soon as they put on the Man United shirt and they pull it off again, they go back into their own heads. They think they're better than everyone. It's not how it works, lads. You need to be playing as a team. You need to be playing as a unit. We need to stop playing players out of position. Like, Mctominay needs dropping. He ain't good enough. Fernandes needs to stop being used on the right wing when he's not a right winger. He's a bloody centre attacking midfielder, and you're out playing him out on the right wing. That is not how you do it. You put a traditional right winger on the right wing. You had Pelestri and Garnacho sat on the bench for nearly 75 fucking minutes, and changes were not made in that second half before those players came out to kick off for the last 45 minutes of the game. Why were substitutions not made then? Why? Why was Pelestri not brought on and Mctominay taken off and to put Bruno back into the midfield three with Eriksen and Casemiro, who all know each other's games are comfortable when those three are in it? But the problem is United have got too many chiefs and not enough leaders. It's all jobs for the boys. It's mates rates FC. United are a mess. It is an absolute mess. And I'm embarrassed for the fans. I'm embarrassed for the supporters. And I tell you what, to be booed off was justified. Those players deserve to be booed off. They absolutely deserve every bit of shit they get tonight. I'm sorry. Those players cannot come out and moan and say, we don't deserve the shit you call us. We don't deserve the shit we get off all of you. I'm sorry. Yes, you do. Because at the end of the day, you may be human beings, all right, justified, but you are players playing for a big club like United, and you're down tooling again. You shouldn't be doing it. What gives you the right to play like that today? What gives you the right? You don't deserve to give a right like that, because it's wrong. You gave up on everyone today, and you gave up on trying to rescue that game. And I mean, Hannibal Mabry, he gets a consolation goal back. Great. But is he really the answer for United's midfield woes without Mason Mount and Amrabat, who Amrabat apparently wasn't injured, but apparently has now come back off international duty injured. When we got told by James Ducker, blue tick, Mr. Man United PR man on Twitter, he's not injured. But yeah, he's come back off international break injured. Make that make sense. He's not injured, but he's injured. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Absolutely clueless journalism on Twitter. He's not injured, but he's injured. Right, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense that we've got players not injured, but they're injured. And that's not helping. We could have done with Amrabat today. We could have done with Mason Mount. We could have done with Amrabat. That game might have looked a lot different if we'd have had traditional players playing in the correct position and players that we brought in the summer transfer window playing in that team. I'm not saying Mason Mount and Amrabat are going to be great signings and going to turn this around. But the game might have looked a lot different today if we'd have had Amrabat next to Casemiro with Fernandes and having a traditional right winger in Pelestri or Garnacho out on the wing. We might have won the game today and come away with the 3 points. And I feel sorry for Rasmus Højlund because he put in an absolute shift in. And for me, I would have to give him man of the match again because I think he's the only United player trying because he actually wants to play for the club. He wants to be at Manchester United. He wants to do well for the club and the fans and the supporters. But how can you be positive about anything regarding United when everything's just so shit? I'm embarrassed. I don't know how United are going to pick themselves up for this because we've only got to play Bayern Munich next. I mean, what could go wrong? Get me a pen, get me some paper, and I'll tell you how that's going to go wrong as well because we've got Bayern Munich Wednesday night. First game of the Champions League group stage. We are going to get absolutely ripped apart if we play like that. And I'm not saying Bayern Munich is going to be a walkover, especially how they've started their season in the Bundesliga. But at the end of the day, you're going to look at Bayern Munich and you're going to look at Manchester United. Bayern Munich are way better than this. Bayern Munich are going to rip us apart. You're going to have Kimmich and Harry Kane. Harry Kane's going to be sat there thinking, right here. United didn't want to move for me. I wanted to come to you, Manchester United, but right, I'm off to Bayern now. Right. Let's put a few goals past them and rub salt right into that hurting wounds. Because that's what's going to happen. And United are going to get inflicted damage again on Wednesday night against Bayern. Because this has been shit today. It's unacceptable. It's disgusting. And it's horrific. United down-tooled again. You did it against Arsenal. You did it against Tottenham. And now you're doing it against Brighton. Your three main rivals you are trying to compete with, apparently. We are nowhere near. We're only 5 points above the bottom three again. What the fuck is going on? There needs to be questions and answers need to be made now. There needs to be a fucking inquiry. What the fuck is going on in this team? Casemiro doesn't look like the same player. It's the same for Eriksen. Martinez gets sat on his ass by Pascal Gross, not just once, but twice. Plus, Danny Welbeck comes back to Old Trafford and scores against United because Danny Welbeck was left running through inside the United penalty area. Who loses the control? Lisandro Martinez. What the fuck's happening to him? United left Danny Welbeck unmarked on the box and having a free run on goal to put the ball in the net. And then Pascal Gross sits Martinez down on his shitty ass crack and puts Brighton 2-0 up and the game's gone. Soon as the third went in, I knew the game was gone. But I thought, you know what? 3-1, we've got a goal back. Anything can happen. But United just didn't want to give it. United just gave in the end. They didn't want to try. They just gave up on everyone. And I can't praise anyone. I can't. I'm sorry, but I think the whole team was shocking in every aspect. There's no energy. I think we look tired. I think last season's trying for every game and every point has worn the team out. But United needed a miracle season. We overachieved last season. Is that come back to haunt us? I think it probably has. And looking at it now, this season's going to be a car crash, ladies and gents, boys and girls. It's going to be a car crash. It's going to be a really bad season for this club. And after 5 games, it's already been proved. 2 wins and 3 defeats. 6 points from 15, we're 9 points off already. It sums up Manchester United. There is just no cohesion. There's no team effort. There's no togetherness. This team looks like lost. It's like the worst game of hide and seek where you've got a seeker and you need to find one more person, but that person is hid such in a good hiding spot that you know you're not going to be able to find them. And that's the problem. United have gone hiding. They've gone missing. I mean, do we need to call a search party for that whole entire 11 today? Do we need to call the lifeguard? Do we need to call the RAF? Because at the end of the day, that United team are so badly missing that we can't find any positives. And there ain't no positives. United were a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. And the fans are hurting, and so are the supporters. And I'm really hurting. I expected United to go for it today. I expected a few good goals being scored by Højlund and Rashford. It was mission impossible that turned into a nightmare. The impossible was made impossible because Brighton put 3 past us. We've only conceded 6 goals in our last 2 games. So that's 6. 3 against Brighton, 3 against Arsenal, 2 against Tottenham, 2 against Forest. That's 10 goals conceded in our first 5 games, and we've got a goal difference of -4 already. I mean, what a bad day at the office for Manchester United. It was just unacceptable. And we've got our Champions League campaign starting next week, and we've got to do a preview for that. I mean, we've got the preview for that game on Monday afternoon for the Bayern Munich away game in the first game of the Champions League group stage for the 23-24 season. So look out for that on Monday afternoon. But it's been a bad weekend for Man United. So I hope you enjoyed the reaction, what you've made of it. Hit the like button, the share button. Please keep subscribing to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please share the video. Hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always put the notification bell on all time to receive dedicated content right for the rest of this year in 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube for Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 4 Last Resort, Hogwarts Legacy, Kingdom Hearts 4, FIFA 23, EA Sports FC 24. We've got Rocket League Season 12 Porsche as well. More previews, more match reaction plan for the rest of these last few months in 2023. But yeah, it's been a bad day. It's been a horrific weekend, and it's been a bad result for United. Losing 3-1 home to Brighton is a disgrace, and it's unacceptable. And there's going to be a lot more questions and answers after today's result, because that was embarrassing today. And yeah, join me for the preview Monday afternoon for the Bayern Munich away game for the first game of the Champions League group stage for Wednesday night. Match day 1 for the 23-24 season. I'm going to go enjoy my rest of the weekend. It's just a shame Man United have ruined it already. You're all legends. You're all legendary. Thanks for watching. Peace. But Manchester United 1, Brighton and Albion 3. Yeah, you heard it here right. Manchester United 1, Brighton and Albion 3. Thanks for watching. What the hell went wrong today?